Hey friends, it's me, the Ebony Otaku, the well-rounded nerd. Let's not delay. I know why you're here. Look at this cute little Elita-1. Is she not so freaking adorable? Yes, I know Christmas just happened and I was the recipient of so many wonderful things. And yet, on New Year's Day, I needed to go to Walmart to pick up a couple of things, house stuff. Took the turkey carcass, I freeze it every year. Or if we have ham, freeze the ham bone. Made stock with the turkey carcass, needed a few more jars. I needed a couple of seasonings, just general house stuff. Got my dog a new roll of that cold fresh dog food that they like now that's so fancy. Box of the dry dog food, just general stuff. I was not there to do any of this. None of this was the goal. I swear to you, I was not there to buy things. But I also went to Walmart with my husband and my stepson. And y'all know I live in a nerdy family. And they made a beeline for the toy section while I went off and did girl things. And I had to go find them, right? So this isn't my fault. I had to go find them. And when I went to that part of the store, husband was going that way through the toys. Stepson was going that way through the toys. And then he walks up to me and says, Do you have, my dear, my wife, my darling, love of my life, do you have an Elita-1? Well, I do. But the Elita-1 that I have is this one. Which I did a video on her, I don't know, a year ago with all my other female figures. Like this is a Power of the Primes figure. This is never coming out the box. This is a Power of the Primes figure. So this particular model, I don't know how uniquely rare she is. From what I've been told, reading comments on some of my previous videos, I got real lucky with some of these Studio 86 figures that I got, because honestly, when they were out in stores, I would just hit the toy section every single time I was near a Target or a Walmart, and I would just pick them up. Just, I want that, I want that, I want that. Just, one or two a week. For a year. And I ended up collecting quite a few. So that's where she came from, but she ain't coming out the box. I know when to not unbox, because that Quintesson, I took out the box. Guess what? He went right back in the box. I lied to myself. He's not getting displayed, because apparently they didn't make a ton of those. So I'm actually pretty lucky to have that figure. So he got slid right back into the box where he came from. But this one here, which I'm not up on a lot of the modern stuff except for a couple of series, but this being a Power of the Prime series to me implies, and I could be wrong, someone correct me, is that in some series out there somewhere, she a Prime. I mean, technically she's Mrs. Prime. I know she's not, just roll with it. But I like the idea because at least in the original series, the female Autobots did not play a huge role. They were there. They did things. I mean, let's be real. The women were holding it down. The men went off to war on Earth, and the women held it down at home. Kind of like the way we do war here. I digress. But yeah, so she, on the back here, it says, how will the resourceful and devoted Autobot warrior wield the power of the Primes? And then it says it in 3 other languages. So then choose your Prime. So apparently she can be a Prime that you choose, which this is a beautiful Elita-1. And when I call her Mrs. Prime, this is Optimus's girlfriend. Like several of the Autobots had girls that they left back on Cybertron when, they take off and Megatron chases them and they end up crashing on Earth. A bunch of girls got left behind, but a bunch of Decepticons and others got left behind as well. And later in different series, you get to meet all of them. One of my favorites that we meet later on, which I know he's real annoying, but I find him adorable, is Blur. Yeah, I know Blur is annoying AF, but he was voiced in the movie by the Micro Machine Man, and that matters to you if you are an 80s or 90s kid. So yeah, Blur's adorable. But since I would never open her, we're going to open her. So back to being in the toy section where I wasn't supposed to be, I had to go find my family. I had to make sure that they weren't buying toys they weren't supposed to get. I was being a good steward of our household money. So I had to go make sure that they were okay and that they were not falling to temptation. And then my husband says, do you have in your possession, do you have an Elita-1? And I replied honestly, I do have an Elita-1. But then there's the follow-up question. Do you have? Darling, do you have this one? Well, no, honey, I don't have that one. Do talk. And of course, the rest is history. She went home with me that day. And I still pop by the toy aisle. A lot of the ones that I love, they're not putting out right this second. It was all about the Dinobots this year, at least where I live. When I travel for work, I always hit the toy section. Or if I go on a vacation, I'm going to hit a toy section of a store just to see what I can get. I'm glad I grabbed all of these when I did. I'm very happy with it. Now, she is tied in here like she's got the scarlet letter on her chest. And they putting her on a stake for being a witch, like in Salem. Like, that's what's going on here. So now I got to figure out how to get her out. My trusty little multi-tool that stays at the desk for this very purpose. I've actually had this for ages. Okay, fun story, just me story. This little multi-tool doesn't look like much. This belonged to my dad, who is no longer with us. Rest in peace. But this thing is like 30 years old. And I don't even know when I got it from him, but one day I was like, ooh, I want that. And, you know, as daughters are wont to do, took it. And I'm kind of glad I have it because, you know, it's my dad's pocket knife. And I told y'all, he's the one who got me into cartoons and whatnot. My dad was a huge animation fan. So it's because of him that I have a love of animation. So it's almost like every time I discover a new figure, a new series, whatever, it's a little connection back to Dad, which is great. So I'm trying to figure out where the best place to cut is because these are not... Y'all know this kind of cord. It's not a twist tie. It's not a rubber band. It's like half paper, half metal. It could just be paper in there. There could be metal in there. I'm about to find out if I cut myself. Oh, it's paper. Did I break something? It's very possible. Oh, God. Well, at least she wasn't expensive. I think she was $13. Which, you know, to be fair, like, inflation be real. We were looking at, we were there because the stepson got some pocket money from the grandparents over the holidays and wanted to go buy some Legos, which, you know, do you, boo-boo, do you. And, you know, us being nerds, we're like, well, we'll take you. Not for him, it's for us. I'm shaking the whole desk trying to open this thing. I'm gonna move this over here. But we were looking at the prices of Legos, and Legos that were $50 3 weeks ago are now $75. And Legos that were $75 3 weeks ago are now $110. It's insane. And this, you know, a year ago was probably $7 and literally probably double what it was. So unless you are in a profession that allows, you know, for nerdy spending, I don't see how a nerd's supposed to make it out there. Like, ain't many folks out there got go to Disney World money at the moment or anything like that. Ooh, she's out. Aw, she doesn't come with any, like, fun little background thing to pose her in. I guess not. I guess for $14, you're not going to get the War for Cybertron backdrop. Like, this one here, like, if you look in here, she's got, like, a whole stand back there and stuff. Like, there's a lot. The temptation to open her is great. It's huge. I'm not gonna. Get thee behind me, Satan. We don't need that evil in our lives. So let's check her out. Not much to her. I don't even know what she's supposed to turn into. When is she supposed to be? Oh, she's like a little half jeepney. I love jeepneys, although I can't fit in them. I'm too tall. Yeah, she looks like a little souped up half jeepney. Very cute. Where'd her head go? There we go. So here she is. She's pink, so automatically love her. RC's also pink, but this is more of a magenta and pink. I'm into it. She's cute. Can I transform her? You know what? She wasn't expensive. Let's try to transform her. Y'all pray for me. Let's see here. All right, she got, oh, okay, they're clever. So her weapons don't come off. They are attached. So, oh, she is one piece. That's actually not bad. Now, as far as transforming her, there are usually instructions. Not for $14. You do not get instructions. You just better be smarter than a 5th grader. Which, when it comes to this kind of thing, I am not. Now, somebody out there is going to be like, that was clickbait. You said you were unboxing an Elita-1. I did. I didn't say it was the big one. I just said it was an Elita-1. You got to appreciate the little figures like this just as much as the big ones. Because they provide access. Boy, that looks like a horror show right now. They provide access where there may not have been access before. Because some of these figures, they get really expensive. I want to say Elita-1, when I bought her, I want to say I bought her for $39 or $49. And that was like 3 years ago. It was 2 or 3 years ago I got that figure. I've had her for a while. And she's still in the box, and that's where she's going to live for the rest of time until I leave this earth anyway. You know, little ones like this, whether you're a collector or just a child wanting toys, if everything is crazy expensive, it makes it harder to enjoy. Now, I know, use your imagination, go outside. There's other ways to enjoy in fantasy and games and all that. Yeah, I get it. But some of us, and I think that's why when I was talking to my husband, I was kind of outraged. I was like, I was in there in Walmart just being all kinds of mad. Like, why is this price? It's too much. These kids can't afford this. And he leaned over and he goes, honey, these aren't for kids. These are grown people prices. He was not wrong. Oh God, I am not making any progress on her. But yeah, I get it that they are. Oh, I did something. I get that they are marketing towards adults with disposable income. But I guess it's no different than when I was a kid. And my parents couldn't afford every single toy that I wanted. And, you know, it's probably good that they couldn't, because it turns out I really had expensive taste. So maybe it's good they couldn't get me every little thing my heart desired. And some kids can. You know, if you can get your kid every little thing they want, good on you. You're doing well in life. I just sometimes hate it for the kids who are just never, ever going to, you know, get to have that stuff because it's so expensive, whether it's a Christmas, birthday, special occasion, whatever. It's just never going to be in the family budget. However, if you are a young one watching this, I mean, I did not grow up with means, okay? Like, my parents did all right. You know, they did all right by us, but by no means were we wealthy. I would dare say we were skirting poverty at some point in my life, if not just flat out poor. And they always did well to make us feel special. And I'm glad my parents instilled a love of fantasy and fun and flair into my life. Because now as an adult, I've worked hard. I've made a career for myself that allows me to pay my bills, save for retirement. And it pays for this. I do owe y'all an office tour. Look, I've got her half transformed. I'm pretty proud of myself right now. I feel like something's supposed to fold up. I'm going to break her. There's another one at the store. I'll go get it if I break this one. Oh, I did a thing. Y'all, this might be my first successful transforming. Oh, man. I better not say that out loud or then it won't be. I might actually get her. Oh, my God. I might actually do it. So yeah, if you're not in a position as a young person, you know, where your family doesn't have the money, or, you know, it's just not something you can do at the moment, it's okay. Adulthood is around the corner, and once, you know, we are grown and free and able to pursue life on our own terms, then we get an opportunity maybe to go back and relive some of that childhood magic. You know, I was a huge fan of Sailor Moon growing up, but most of the figures that I have, even the valuable ones, I didn't get until I was a teenager and started working. I started working when I was 16, which is kind of traditional in America. 14 to 16, I think, is the average age to get your first job, at least in the South. I don't know what y'all do in the rest of the Americas, but in the South, if you want money and you're 15, you go get a job at the Kroger or the mall. That's what you do. My Southern just came out real strong. Ooh, I've almost got it if I can just figure out. Okay, so this is supposed to be side-by-side wheels. So this is, I'm doing okay. I'm not doing great, but I'm doing okay. This I was going to be done with this video now, but now I'm inspired that I might actually get this transformed. But yeah, it gets better. It does. Everyone, you know, we are all given a certain set of gifts, talents, and a way to make use of our talents and gifts in this world, and find your way. I'm very fortunate that what I do for a living, I actually happen to love. I'm a teacher of adults by profession. You know, I help people do their jobs better, and I absolutely love it. I help my company do better by helping our professionals do better. I help our executives do better, and I cannot think of a better way to spend my time. And plus, I like to talk, and if you're a talker, and you not just want to talk, but you want to talk and like people have to listen to you, corporate training is like a really good option. It was a hard career to get into, not gonna lie. I have my years of making no dollars an hour. I think my first job, let me think, not counting being a kid. So like my very first real job, I actually did pretty darn good. I was a sales professional for a really large company, and I'm not gonna lie. At 20 years old, I don't know how I got that job. I BS my way all the way through that interview, and it was a 5-person panel interview. And they all unanimously opted to hire me. And I was like 20. Had dropped out of college because I decided I'd rather have money than a degree, which I have my degree now. It's never too late. If you're breathing, it's never too late. But I made it through, and I did really well, actually. But you shouldn't be making that much money when you're 20, because I have zero things to show for that money. I was 20 years old making 6 figures a year as a salesperson for a big company. It's gone. Some of it's back there. I enjoyed it. And then I got a taste of real life. I went from that fantasy role as a salesperson into a, what was my in-between job? Oh, in between, I worked for a cable company in the call center for a brief period, literally like 6 months. That was a job. Y'all want to hear some stuff? Okay, we're going to get back to her in just a second. I've almost got it. Pause. Y'all want to hear some stuff? So I won't name the company, but this is crazy. So if you've never done call center work, there's like one of 2 things that everyone needs to do to be grateful for what they get later in life. Food service or call center. My God, today there is no environment like a serious call center. So get this, in our call center, because it was a cable company, there's like a deal that these companies who provide telecommunication services that they make with the cities that they have service in, saying we're going to pick up X amount of phone calls in X amount of time, or they get fined if they don't meet those agreements. You don't realize how serious those agreements are until they affect you directly. So one day, I'm at the phones doing the phone thing. Hello, welcome to... Hello, this is... And we all start going... What is that? It was smoke. Where there's smoke, there's what? Yeah, there's fire. There was a fire in the building. We had an itty-bitty workout room with a treadmill in it, and it caught fire. And they turned off the alarm system so we wouldn't leave our desk. I give you another one. Children, plug your ears. So, if you've never worked in a call center, 1 million calls a day. I think my record in calls in one day was like 162. It was some stupid number. A lot of those were straight up transfers, because once you do it long enough, you figure out, oh, I'm not selling you anything, and you're gone. But at this company, like when people wanted to order certain types of material, you know what kind of material I'm talking about? Like, you never offered it. Like, we could sell anything, but you did not sell that stuff. People had to ask for it. And this was back in the day where you couldn't always order from the remote. Some things you had to call. Yeah, it was a whole thing. There was this dude. And I know he probably was much older than me at the time. But he was a legend at our little center. But he would call until he got a girl on the phone, or what he thought was a girl. And he would ask us to read off the titles that were for sale. Just one by one, read them off. If you talk to people in call centers and they sound miserable, it's because they are. Anywho, so I was making $12.50 an hour at that job, plus commission if I sold any, cable packages and stuff like that. The commission was okay. That was also back in the day where rent was $560 a month, so that was great. You could make $12 an hour and be okay. Back then, now I don't know what the people are doing. I'm sorry, the 90s. I told y'all, 75 to like 2001, that was it. That was the peak. It's over. I don't know what happens next. Ooh, I think I have discovered something. I'm not transforming this up here. I got caught up. Ooh, box is trying to fall. There's a corner of a box there. We're gonna move that over. But yeah, I couldn't afford anything in those days. I was paying bills, I was eating, and I was doing good to do that. So most of us go through a period in our life where that's life. And I did that. And then I got my next position, which, thankfully that company was mandatory weekends, which gave me 2 days a week free to go interview for other jobs. So that was real handy. I ended up getting another job, which was also $12.50 an hour, but it wasn't there. So I took it. And that was actually unbeknownst to me anyway, that was the start to the career that I have now. It was a small telecommunications company. I started in their retention department, just, taking calls, trying to keep customers from disconnecting. And after I got trained there and like the real trainer came into town to train me, I decided, I want to be a trainer. I don't know how you become a trainer, but that's what I want to do. I want to be that. So I made a decision as to what I wanted to do my career. And I worked to that. And actually at my previous company, I wanted to be a trainer, but it was real hard to get into training. I later discovered. But I held on to the dream. This is what I want to do. I'm going to figure out how to do it. And every opportunity I got at my previous company to teach something or help the trainer out or anything like that, I was there. Whether it was writing material, building decks, didn't care. And I learned everything that I could. I eventually became a supervisor, so a people leader at that company, and then the training role came open. What's funny is before I got the training role, there were actually some manager positions, senior manager positions that came over, and I applied. And actually, I applied and was told I had the best interview, but they didn't believe my BS. The big company believed it. But it kind of hurt, not gonna lie. But when the training role came open, my director at the time actually emailed me and instant messaged me and said, hey, the role's open, you need to apply. And I said, oh, okay. And then a VP that I supported said, hey, this role is open, you need to apply. Okay, I'll apply. Then the person who had the job before me, who was taking a different role, which left it open, messaged me and said, hey, you need to apply. So I did. I applied, and obviously I got the job, and that started my role as a trainer. And I was a trainer on a basic level. I was in charge of a lot of folks' education at our company, and my responsibilities just grew and grew and grew because in a much larger company bought ours, and I work for them now. And I love it there. I have a great time. I have good coworkers. I have a good team. There's always something new for me to learn, which I really appreciate. I get to go a lot of places. I have been all over the world with this company training. And, each time I've gotten a promotion, each time I found a new role, the pay obviously has gone up. But I didn't start out doing something I loved. I started out at the bottom and worked my way up. And I didn't even have a degree working my way up. I had gone to college, but did not have the degree. I got on with my communication skills. If you learn nothing else from this little time here, good communication skills will carry you in most professions. If you want to know what to work on, communication skills. There, you got that for free. I'm a trainer at heart. I'm here to help you while I try to destroy this figure. But yeah, so now that's what I do. And I wrapped up finishing my bachelor's degree last year. This year at some point, I will start my master's degree because my company pays for it, so why not? I've got a studious brain. I still have a lot of responsibilities. I'm in the process of looking for my next role at my company. I want to be a leader of people. I want to help encourage others in their careers and develop them for what they have coming next, just like people help develop me. Because along the way, it wasn't just me doing things myself. The most important conversations about your career are happening when you're not in the room. And you need people saying the right things about you when you're not in the room. And I had that. And that's why I was able to be in the position I was, to take the position I wanted. And I want to be able to do that for other people. So hopefully, sometime in the next year, I will find that next role and be ready to do something great with and for the careers of others. Now, see, I'm seeing how it comes together, but I am not quite making it happen. There is a twist somewhere that I'm missing. And I'm always scared of the twisting because I feel like I'm going to break them. But I kind of got it. Like, this is the closest I've gotten so far. I have a brain for technology and teaching, but obviously this kind of stuff escapes me on a certain level, which is fine. You know, we're not all going to be good at everything. My husband's an engineer, so I'll probably hand it to him and he can do it in like 10 seconds. But what's interesting though is when we're painting like our Warhammer figures and other statues and stuff, I'm a much better painter. He has to use a whole bunch of techniques to get his stuff to look the way he wants. Like there's all these airbrush techniques and stuff you can do to get certain details, and I can freehand all of that. Nobody gets everything, but it's called balance. He can help me finish transforming this monstrosity that I've created. We're going to just put her back is what we're going to do. And I will help him do better at painting his Warhammer figures. Oh God, can I even put her back the way she was? Bet I can't. What have I done? I can't even put her back. Ugh, can I break a figure or what? That is a skill. There we go. Okay, clip. Yep, so she just gets to be this way. Okay, so that was a partial transformation. That counts? That counts. I almost did it. So I hope you enjoyed that. That was fun conversation. It's a new year, y'all. So new year, new chances, new opportunities. What are you planning to do different this year? I didn't know it was going to go off into, you know, motivational speech land, but hey, let the spirit use you, right? So please like, comment, and subscribe, and we will see you in the next one.